microphone is off, so you're going to talk. You ready? Sorry? You ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's 6 p.m. I'd like to call this meeting of the Tarrant County Emergency Services District Number 1 to order. At this point, we'll ask for the invocation from Chief Shelley.
Thank you, Mr. President. Will you stand with me? Heavenly Father God, thank you for this day and for all that you do for us every day. Thank you for each family represented here and the departments they serve. We ask you to continue to watch over our personnel and all those of our service providers. Keep them safe, watch over their families while they're away. I ask you to be with the board tonight as they make decisions for the district. Give them guidance and wisdom. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. If you'll remain standing, we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible. All of your first grade teachers are up front. I apologize for not being quicker on the trigger.
Okay. At this point, we're ready for item 4, which is the February 2026 financial report.
Thank you, Mr. President. We are continuing to work on both our payroll and our finance HR software implementation programs, payroll program. We're hoping to have complete and up and running in April, and the Tyler Technologies process, again, that's a longer, about a year-long process getting that all set up. We had staff meeting this morning, and Alicia and Jen both have about 50 hours of online training in addition to these multiple meetings a week that they're going to have to complete. It's just it's a crazy amount of training that they're having to go through. We've just found out that the CPA they got word from QuickBooks that they are not going to allow them to process our payroll through the QuickBooks account. We had a couple of QuickBooks hiccups at the very, very beginning of payroll, and they have some kind of policy in place where you can't have more than 3 in a year.
3.
Is that right, Jen?
Yes, more than 3 in a year, and the cap is $80,000 per pay cycle.
So
we're already over
our
that.
payroll is more than 80,000 a cycle, so they just absolutely aren't going to work with us. So they will do the front end payroll calculation for us each pay period, and then Jennifer will have to manually enter payroll for all employees until we get the payroll software working, hopefully by mid-April.
Wow. Okay.
So Jen has a sign that says "I hate payroll," and occasionally you will see it in the window of her office, and that is basically a warning flag not to bother her that day. So all the staff are very aware of it, and it seems to be working so far. But she's looking at a full day to process payroll right now, where it should be an hour or two and be done. But we will endeavor to persevere and get through it. We received notice from the county late this afternoon. The county commissioners approved our ARPA reimbursement at the Commissioner's Court, and that payment has been wired, should hit our bank tomorrow. That's a little over $3.6 million in reimbursement. So excited to get that back in the bank. And we have a balance of a little over $124,000 that we're going to be seeking reimbursement for when we received the invoice for this latest order of protective clothing that we've purchased, and that will finish out our ARPA funding. Okay. And it'll allow us to use every penny of it, which obviously is what we wanted to do. Almost $1.4 million in total expenses for February. As you can see here, taxable fund balances, checking balance with everything, we're still sitting a little above 21 million. I will share with you all that pending approval of the Eagle Mountain and Rendon agreements tonight, and the invoice for the 2 fire engines that we ordered, that is close to $5.5 million in payouts that will go out later this week. So, Mr. President, if you see large payouts in the next few days on the account, you'll know what those are for. Okay. And we will have a few more decent sized payouts when we pay for gear and some of those things for this large influx of employees that we have in a few weeks. But beyond that, other than our facility processes, we should start to see that spending go down a little bit. Any questions on finance report? Commissioner Kossovitz had asked for a spreadsheet with some additional detail in it, and we're aware of that, and we're going to work on that. There was just not time this cycle for us to get to that. I want to put it on the record. We are working on it.
Okay. Okay, Board of Commissioners comments and announcements. Just one thing I will say, when we get to the next item, I'm going to change the order of business. We're going to go into a very brief executive session, and it'll be maybe 5-10 minutes just to discuss one quick issue, and then we'll come back out and continue with the rest of the meeting. So I apologize, but we're going to take that out of order. Is there any other comments or announcements from commissioners? Okay. I will accept, discussion and possible action regarding the order of business or agenda items. And I would like to move item 13, executive session, up to be our next session. And I will accept a motion to approve.
So moved.
All in favor? Aye. Okay. Any other comments or announcements? Okay, then I will take us into executive session at 6:13 p.m.
Kurt, what'd you do now?
You know, I beat Fake in golf and he's mad at me.
I think we know better than that.
What, Kurt playing golf?
Outdoor meeting.
No, Pete, what a fake. Kurt hadn't practiced enough to beat him.
He's trying.
To not beat him.
No teaching at all. So we would give him stuff and just like, I can do it better. Take it away.
So he's yelling at me before the 15th.
One doesn't say what all we need without it all. Others, just a second, I'll take over for three of the things I want to say. Who's this?
His contract signed?
Leave their city should fund their own fire department.
And that includes only equipment and paperwork.
There will be no size that we have our stuff done. Roman's not involved in it, so they will be a contract agency if they choose to play their kid. Oh, sorry. It's not possible. It would be a very strict
There's a lot of stuff to do though, because you're gonna
Change.
have to set up a trust and all sorts of stuff.
safety issues they're not dealing with. I was just rolled up on Acton Space. We both got these arrested.
Oh.
In traffic. Short vehicle in traffic.
Who's all going to his team trouble?
Solid waste, solid issue.
You know?
Chris gone, and Jason again, so car stabilized, just like a rock and police, just have to come in.
So he didn't tell me
Popped
he
off,
was
said,
like,
we don't take safety serious, like protecting our house or anything like that. I said, we don't get mind your business. So I'll walk off, take things to other patients, get your own medics. Look, those are in there crawling.
two of them in my house.
Kayla and Jason, and I just shook my head, and the rescue went around, cleaned him out, and I was like, absolutely not. He stayed in the past, and then he got to pay some trouble with the council. They stopped
exchange, so.
They choose not to ship that truck.
We were staying for, back in December, I didn't know what it was that.
The same. Nothing has changed.
I have to,
I was
it's gonna
not
be
thinking
cheap.
that, but it was like, out of the blue. I have to, I mean, of course, I'll be at the beginning of the calendar. That's what it is. I have no plans to stay.
Yeah,
I
so you're
just
saying
wanna get
you wear a suit with Converse.
stabilized and moving forward.
Different suit, different
Out,
Converse.
join a board or something like that.
She go
He's
over there.
Do your bondage.
Professor,
Yeah.
history professor. or
Yeah,
whatever.
but,
Yo-Yo had to step down from Alvin because he felt it was a conflict of interest to go to the fire department and the board.
But I mean, so we blew it.
He's got,
Talked to RV about possibilities, they choose not to.
Oh, God.
Justin is Shell Creek, they choose not to.
yeah, so she loses.
She's
I
kind
made
of
a lot of plans in there to get some verbal contracts on any placement. They choose, they would be stupid not to play Griffith. Yeah.
And now,
The money was
still
in
a
the
general
what
practitioner, but he got sent to Kendall Yonkers. If you can't, you know, if you got something wrong with your foot, you got something with that. If you got something wrong with your shoulder, you got something with your orthopedic.
I was kind of surprised that he got into
Yeah, everybody said
headbutting
work
with
to,
court emergency management for Shit County. He survived that, so.
He doesn't,
Oh, but.
he doesn't come to meetings.
police,
If he does, he doesn't stay away.
Morrison retired.
March out soon, so.
Yeah, they're.
I called
That was
Estes the other day, I said, hey man,
Death and
working on
Morris.
response plans, I'm just
Morrison,
curious.
this is
When
what.
you bring your engine, when you bring your
Yeah.
tanker,
Okay.
you know, it's 317.
I mean,
Think the last two fires, it's been the issue. Yeah, they did first on you, they bid new work, I said, I need to walk. You know,
we need,
they
we
bid
need.
me. They were around
You know, I got a pill for everything. I said, I don't need pills.
So when you're right, they really don't need to peel. That's what, yeah. It's two lucky draws, cause I finally asked them.
I told you, I was like,
The one in y'all's. Yeah, sorry.
coming in with,
Passes
we
just.
wanna know what's the flu,
Yeah, I was
who's
like,
going
how
high
the
right
crap
now.
did y'all get here? All we just cleared was having to turn around.
I just need a
At 5 minutes,
steroid
got
shot
called.
and an antibiotic.
Boom, there, that's what happened.
It's that thing.
So they,
I
yeah,
can't even,
cause
I can't
they,
even call.
with the one that burned up, and then
They'll tell me, oh, he'll
like the next day or two, they had another one
I just text him, come on,
reported
you
over
know.
there in that north star.
Thank goodness.
And they were,
And that's what Morrison
It's
was,
217.
Morrison was texting, you headed into work right now, or it'd be like 6 o'clock.
It's like,
Yep,
okay,
it's like,
I mean,
well, I'm doing
I'm
around
just,
to the hospital right now.
just getting to know what am I getting?
making
I
shit
think
up,
I'm
ain't
getting
none.
3,000
Go
gallons
with
of water.
THR
And I'm
Hazel,
getting,
go into an empty room,
Because
drop
when
your
you're
pins,
Council one time.
I'm
two
expecting
shots
one.
and say,
If
okay,
I get
you're
extra
good, you want me to pay your
people,
subscription? No,
He goes, well, I mean, sending one is fine, it leads me to the city. You do you, but I'm just saying,
missed those days.
I'm looking for water. So now, common to get.
Now it's, we need a lab test, we need a console.
So say it's common
Then
that
we
you
refer
get two
you.
vehicles,
You know,
three
I think
people.
nothing.
Okay. One's driving the same,
You know, I've seen, you know, back with my diabetes.
if they don't bring one, you're risking it. There's one block, or what's the point?
Well, he'd always give me.
It's just how they're riding, and they're just both going.
See, well, now.
Yeah, a lot of
they don't
times
give you
the
life
rescue
until you
is one
see it.
person.
What good does that do me?
Right.
They chase each
You
other
gotta come
around.
back.
Isn't that what you come back to, you go around? Of course, you doing it.
You do you?
So.
You do you, I don't, yeah, I don't.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I was thinking if I'm getting water 3,000 gallons, that matters.
You're right.
Yeah, no,
It is.
you know, stuff you mentioned around, we only ordered it with 1,000. Yeah. But we'll always have that tanker chasing around. So, what are you gonna call, what are your apparatus gonna be called? I don't, it'll be engine 16. Well, actually, I don't know, it depends how November goes. It'll be in whatever. So what do you have now?
Y'all get all those
Engine
things to do?
16, the same as
I
it
got
is,
one more to go.
3,000.
They're keeping two.
So what used to be Power 16 is still there. You don't take it until it's like a later out. No, it goes out the,
I got the last one.
if it's commercial, we run that first with a tank. Okay, so you have Bunker 16, which is how much water? 2,000.
Yeah, I don't,
And then
I don't know if I saw that, so I don't
Tanker
have
5
to
ton.
know.
5 ton.
Website, posted stuff a while back.
I ain't been out there. I don't
We
know
have
if
some-
it's what's changed.
Knew a lot of it. But they said we hold everything in common. You
I'm
don't.
sure it's changed.
Except a certain area. Castle.
Yes, sir.
The amount of sidewalk, those two trucks all were further than our touching agencies. They request.
Yeah.
They request a rough truck, and that's all you take. They just requested a tank. Yeah, because they don't
back the other way, it'll get already on
Well,
again.
Jefferson,
That's change orders.
Jefferson shut back, they know that.
Yeah.
So, but, I guess there's a lot of.
Yeah, Jeff left Haslett. He's now with them.
Well, he told me once,
Figure out.
he was gonna be a driver at Eagle House, and then we had a captain opening. I don't know, I think it was moving him up to Briar dispatch.
Okay.
It's just.
Oh, no, yeah, months ago.
So the new B shift captain.
Darryl reminded me of that.
And he's got, there's a bunch of Louisville people that are in Parker County, so
Yeah.
Jim's connected.
McComas is one of their battalion chiefs.
Yeah, I
He
saw
came
he
from
took
Louisville,
that,
so,
yeah.
yeah, he's already called McComas. Hey!
Which is funny, I hadn't seen Comus forever. He
I
took
would blame him.
track field.
Right.
He come up, grabbed
Oh,
it.
Ryan. I'd take Ryan Chase. That's why I didn't recognize Ryan. Ryan must have changed it after a while.
The good news is being over on that side though, is he's got more of a chance to run some good grass fires. Yeah.
He's a nerd on that.
Oh, yeah, cause he'll go up, you know, Boyd, everything back in the center of Parker County, so that'll be more of his bailiwick where if he was an Eagle Mountain.
Now, he's staying volunteering with Haslett, so he'll still be showing up if it's raining. Go back to that tanker, also the Mercury 2 dropped. Okay. On the same one?
Well, they took it from this.
We got him to drop it.
2,000 drop tankers. We can drop 6 in there with those transfer.
Except for the EMS side.
How many guys still know how to drive? That's the question from our side.
That's why we're gonna pull up to them. We took it off of the Pierce one that's 2,000 gallon. It's kind of thing. We don't use it.
We asked rookies still today, we'll ask them, what's RPM over his pressure valve?
We retired here.
That, you know, it just goes one ear and out the other. The academy man, it's just like, I don't know.
Problem is. Yeah.
Here's
That's
why,
what I know.
we do the joint training
In that community.
on the drop
That's where
tanker,
Mr.
past the Fort, past
Oh, yeah. Melissa Burrow,
They were interested in an airplane, they thought that was pretty cool, how fast it actually set the wind water number faster than they can get to hydro time. The best you can get out of that dump. Yeah. Because the problem is you can go train what you want, but they change so frequently, and so much overtime being the outliers, never the same deal. Oh, like, you know, we have, on that newer tank, we have the last shock, 5-inch to a 3-inch into it, without having to hold it. Cool. Ease out. Yeah. Use a ton. It's there when you need it.
Well, Curry was that,
Okay, I will call this session of the Tarrant County Emergency Services District Number 1 back into order at 6:21 PM. We didn't really have any items. No, so no need for a motion. Okay, we're ready for public comments. No public comments? Okay. Consent agenda. Do any of the commissioners have any issues regarding the consent agenda items?
No.
Okay. I will accept a motion to approve the consent agenda as written.
So moved?
All in favor? Okay, the consent agenda is approved. We have no public hearings. Item 10, contracts, agreements, bid awards, and other related items. A discussion and/or action on the approval of a land, facility, and asset purchase contract with the Eagle Mountain Volunteer Fire Department and authorize the board president to sign the contract. Chief Shelley?
The agreement is to purchase all the land, building, vehicles, equipment, and supplies with a few exceptions. Their IT equipment, software, ambulance billing, things of that nature. Some of the items that the department has leased currently are not included in that agreement. Chief Blakeman, am I missing anything? I think that's the bulk of the non-items. Ambulances and the equipment related to it are being returned to the ESD as well. The agreed upon purchase price for all of it is $2.5 million. It's been executed on board direction from last month's meeting, and closing should be in the next few days. I heard from our broker late yesterday, and he believes that the title company will have documents ready to go at the latest Friday. And he said he'd be in touch with you, Mr. President, to schedule closing.
One other thing too, we also put in a contract that we gotta stay in the building and maintain everything till the 31st,
Correct.
so that we can still fulfill our contractual obligations.
Correct.
Perfect.
Our recommendation is to the approval to pay the agreed upon purchase price and execute the closing documents. And we provided a motion there for you if you'd like to use it.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of all land, buildings, vehicles, equipment, and supplies from the Eagle Mountain Volunteer Fire Department for the sum of $2.5 million and authorize the board president to execute the closing documents and the chief financial officer to wire the funds to the title company. Do I have a second? So moved. All in favor? It's approved.
Thank you.
Item B, discussion and/or action on the approval of an asset purchase agreement with the Linden Volunteer Fire Department and authorize the board president to sign the contract.
Thank you again, sir. So the Rendon purchase agreement is to purchase only a portion of their equipment and supplies. Ambulances and related equipment as well are being returned to the ESD. The agreed upon purchase price for these items is $375,000, which is under the authorized purchase cap of $500,000. It does not include the land, buildings, fire apparatus, some equipment, computers, software, or future ambulance billing revenue prior to our operational takeover on April 1st. Funds will be wired later this week if the purchase agreement is approved, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Okay.
Staff's recommendation is to approve the purchase, and a motion is provided for you.
You wanna make a motion?
Yeah,
Okay.
so moved.
No, I mean,
You want me to make a motion? Okay, I'll make a motion to approve, or deny the purchase of selected equipment and supplies from the Rendon Volunteer Fire Department for the sum of $375,000 and authorize the board president to execute the purchase agreement and the chief financial officer to wire the funds to their bank.
I will second that. All in favor? Okay, that passes.
Thank you.
Item C is discussion and/or action on a lease agreement with the city of Lake Worth for housing a second Eagle Mountain ambulance and authorize the board president to execute the agreement.
Thank you, Mr. President. The agreement is to lease the former fire station in Lake Worth where the second Eagle Mountain ambulance is currently housed. That lease agreement is for a sum of $2,000 a month. Additional resources could be housed in the station if there became a need to do so for the district in the future. It's included in the agreement a cost of $1,000 per person per month to do that. Staff does not envision a situation where we would need to do that anytime soon. If we ran into any issues with construction of the Lakeside Station or delays, things like that, if it turned into something more substantial, then there may be discussion about that, but we would literally be talking years down the line, so I don't foresee that. And it can be canceled by either party on 30 days written notice. It does include an annual 3% lease escalation, which is pretty typical. It's the same thing we have in place on our lease for this building and for Whiskey Flats. So pretty standard. Lake Worth got that all put together for us, and we're good to go there. And staff is seeking approval of this lease agreement so that we can have a smooth transition on April 1st and continue operating that ambulance as it has been.
Is there anybody else in the former fire station, or is it just us?
There is no one else occupying the building right now. I think they've got some storage in it, but other than that, it's just our two personnel staying there.
And I mean, it's got beds and kitchens, and it's fully functional.
It's got all the things.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Okay, I'll make the motion. I motion to approve a lease agreement with the city of Lake Worth for the use of their former fire station at a monthly rent of $2,000 and authorize the board president to execute the lease agreement and the chief financial officer to wire the funds monthly to their bank.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That passes.
Thank you.
Action items. Discussion and/or action authorizing the executive director to move forward with ordering vehicles for the FY 2027 fleet replacement year, utilizing cooperative purchase pricing and 5-year lease purchasing financing.
Thank you, Mr. President. So as part of our strategic plan process, one of the components in that is going to be fleet purchasing and replacement. And we have prepared a 10-year spreadsheet plan that will be part of the strategic plan presentation later this month. We have become aware of a couple of opportunities to get some vehicles at some discounts and to get them in a little more timely manner. So we wanted to get this in front of you tonight. There is no cost impact to the district in FY26. So this is no impact to this year's already approved budget. But if we take action on this and go ahead and move forward with these purchases, we're going to stand a better chance of getting the vehicles within the fiscal year so that we can get them in service. One of those vehicles being a substantially beneficial asset to the whole county in the light air and rehab unit. But what we're asking for is an additional fire engine, which will be a sister to the two we've already purchased. This one would be going to Briar. It will come off the manufacturing line in early fall. It'll be in make ready for a little while after that. And we anticipate that we'll be able to get that in here before Christmas and get that unit in service. It's going to replace the frontline engine in Briar. I do not have a current number because Briar's engine is in the shop right now for the 3rd time since we took over in October. Prior to this trip to the shop, we have spent in excess of $60,000 in repairs trying to keep that truck operational, and I anticipate that those are going to be ongoing. Okay. The other 3 vehicles are additions to our fleet that are necessary for us to support our mission. The battalion chief vehicle and logistics vehicle are available from local dealerships. We will bid those out and be able to complete those purchases pretty quickly. The upfitting is the challenge. As I was sharing with you, we have a couple of our vehicles that were purchased in September that just went to upfitting last week. So even if we can get these vehicles in the next 30 to 60 days, we're still probably looking at several months to get the upfitting, the lights and siren and so forth done. So there's definitely some logistical challenges there, but again, if we get after this sooner rather than later, we're in a better place. I do want to go back on the engine and say also, by moving forward with this engine, they're locking in prices, so we're paying the same as we did for the 2 that we purchased last fall. So typically you anticipate several percent increase on those costs each year, and we're avoiding that with this request. The last vehicle requested is what we're calling a light air rehab and support vehicle. It'll fill a critical role throughout the county. Fort Worth has a unit like this in service, and there's also one in Bedford that services the entire northeast Tarrant County area. It will provide refilling of breathing air bottles at fire scenes, allowing crews to support continuous firefighting operations. It'll have some large wattage scene lighting that can be articulated up from the top of the unit to provide lighting at nighttime operations. Rehab capabilities for firefighters to rest and refuel. We'll have a stock of supplies on the truck, tents, chairs, things like that for the firefighters to use. It also has a interior space where if we have an extremely hot day, it's an air-conditioned area. We could get folks who may be heat exhausted or what have them, get them out of the weather and into a cool environment. So it does give us some flexibility there. That space can be used for extended operations, incident command at bigger fires and events if it were needed. It's got a countertop area and a bench in it that could be used for things like that. So again, it's a multi-purpose vehicle. It's going to enable us to fill air bottle cascade systems at fire stations. We're planning on fitting it with some air pack repair and mask fitting equipment, where for our personnel, the personnel operating this unit can travel to our stations rather than us trying to get our crews somewhere to get their masks fit annually. We'll be able to go and do that in the stations, as well as minor repairs to air packs and other equipment that can be done off of that unit. So it truly is a versatile piece of equipment that'll benefit us greatly. This is normally a 2+ year operation to get this vehicle, and we're in a position where we could have it in our hands in about 120 days. They have a unit that was built, and when it was being delivered, the front cab chassis was damaged, and they rejected the vehicle. They have taken the box off, which was unaffected, and put it on a brand new chassis, and it is ready to paint with our paint scheme and get it out the door and get it to us pretty quickly. Again, 120 days, but our manufacturer thinks we can probably get it sooner than that. So as soon as we can get it upfit, get it equipped, we'll get it put in service. Total funding request for all of these items is $2.815 million. That's on a 5-year lease purchase with a 1-year deferment of the payment on that. Payments would be about $652,000 a year for 5 years, and we wouldn't start making those payments, as I said, until FY27.
Okay.
Clearly, we're recommending approval of these purchases to aid us in efficient operation and providing some additional services, and we've provided a motion for you.
Could you go back to the truck for just a minute, the graphic of the truck? Do you have any questions on what this does? Okay. Chief May, oh, I'm sorry.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
The operator of this truck, will that be a position?
It will. It'll be we'll have an engineer position on each shift. It'll be in service 24/7. Yep. And the intent right now is to station this in Rendon. Longer term, it may end up getting moved to Whiskey Flats or Lakeside, just depending on deployment and operations as we see kind of how it's working out. But to start out with, since we have adequate space at Rendon, that's where we're looking at.
And this is not the kind of truck that needs an 8-minute response time. This is the kind of
Correct.
truck that needs
It's a support vehicle.
like 15 or 20 minutes and,
Sure.
you're fine.
And in all fairness, it could be longer than that. I mean, for that truck to get from Rendon to the Briar area, if it's needed, it's going to take some time, and it's going to be extended if it's the wrong time of day. So, again, a support vehicle, and it's not uncommon. The city of Fort Worth has one in service. I would argue with the interior cab space, a little bit fancier, a little bit more versatility. So for what we're getting, it's a great deal, and I mean the discount on this thing, because of the whole process, is several $100,000. So it's a good move for us.
Chief Mays, instead of calling it just U270, could we, I mean, I don't know if this was your graphics or if this was just their something they put together. Could we make it more descriptive to taxpayers so that when people...
Well, that's where we added light air rehab and support in the strap. That's as good as you're gonna probably get, being honest with you.
Wow, okay.
I mean, yeah, U270 is just an identifier that vehicle.
That's more of a radio identifier for us than anything.
I think it's, I don't know of another way other than doing really big letters. I think it's not for the person driving by to look at it. I think as you're walking around it, you know, in a more closer view, then that's going to be pretty good size lettering that I think it would make sense. But so if you have another suggestion, I'll try. Me and Alicia played around on her art pad, and I don't know another way.
Okay,
But we can talk offline. I mean, nothing's set in stone. That was from your request. That's what we chose to upgrade. Like I said, something Chief Shelley's wanting to do is put the little slogan up there. So we found a place to put the dedicated to service and committed to excellence. That was in the stripe, but we replaced it with light air rehab. So.
okay.
I do think that Kurt and I determined that those letters are gonna be between 4 and 5 inches in height. So while it looks small there, I mean,
It's pretty good
it's
size.
certainly a good size to see.
Yeah, I think that'll be great. I mean, just when it's passing by, just someone looking at it and they know what it is. I just happened to see the Fort Worth one the other day, and they've got great big letters. I don't like the way they did it either, but so a taxpayer would know what it is as it zooms by. Any other questions? Okay, I'll go ahead and read the motion. Motion to approve the ordering/purchase of 4 fleet vehicles as outlined in the 10-year fleet purchase and replacement plan, and authorize the executive director to move forward with the order and the board president to execute any related purchase documents.
I second.
All in favor? Okay, that's approved. Okay. Item B, discussion and/or action authorizing additional funding up to $150,000 for the Briar Station 370 renovations due to roof and drainage challenges.
As the board is aware, after acquiring the Briar Fire Station in October of last year, we began a pretty extensive remodeling renovation process out there that involved a new concrete front pad to the truck bays, all new electrical system from the utility pole all the way to the last plug in the building, plumbing upgrades, new septic system, some considerable construction upgrades to the building to make it a long-term functional building as a fire station. Following some recent heavy rain after the septic was all set and everything was put in places that had to be grades and so forth for that, staff became aware through the firefighters on duty of some drainage issues. We had some water that got into the bays during that rain event, and also identified some runoff complications and some roof leaks. Chief Brown has been working diligently ever since to get some quotes on all of these items. I think we have a temporary fix on the roof in place right now until we do a more extensive repair. And what we're asking for, as we've done in the past, is just a block of money to get this repair taken care of. We've received 2 quotes on the drainage and grading and retaining wall so far. Those quotes are in the $80,000 to $90,000 range for that part of the repair right now. We're working on additional. But with the roof repair, we're going to add some guttering and tie that into the French drainage along the back of the building. We don't have all the costs on that yet, but I'm confident we'll be under that 150 number. But we want to make sure we don't have to delay fixing it to wait on a board meeting to come back to you again. And once everything's complete within staff report, we'll provide back to you what the actual spending ended up being.
Okay.
But as we're requesting here, it's roof repairs, gutters, downspouts, regrade the back area, some repairs to the parking lot, French drains, a short retaining wall along the back of the building, and some additional stabilization to the parking area to help with runoff. We're recommending approval of this request with a motion.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Chief, so with those renovations and the repairs, do you anticipate more? Or do you think
I
that
don't. I think we're finally going to be in a good place. The delays we had in getting through the permit approval process for the septic system, everything else got finished. It just kind of pushed this back on us. They cleaned up after they finished the septic and did the things that were related to their scope of work. I don't know if you've been out behind the station or not, but there is a grade from the back of the property towards the building, and there were swells to carry the water to the side. But with the additional parking we've added in the back, the moving of the septic system from the side of the building to the back of the building, it's just created some changes in the grade back there that we're gonna have to do some additional dirt work to get it right. And I believe these are long-term fixes for that building, and knowing that we're gonna have to be in that building for a minimum of several more years, to avoid further complications or damage to the building that may end up costing us even more. We believe this is the right course of action to get it repaired.
And so the amount that you're asking for, is that just to complete the items that you said, nothing more for like a little padding for anything else that may need?
No, not any additional work. I just want to make sure that there's a cushion of funding already approved. So if these bids come back a little higher on some of these other items, or if when they start the French drain, putting in the retaining wall, if we run into any additional issues that they unearth in that process, that we've got some cushion in our funding to be able to take care of those, not new problems, but related problems, if you will.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
And there's some other opportunities that we have, through the purchase of some of the equipment with Rendon. We're gonna have access to a emergency generator that we're looking at relocating from the current old Rendon station to the Briar station. So in an emergency, loss of power, we have another Snowmageddon, they'll have power from a generated system there. So there'll be some expense to move that and install it at that location. I was on the phone with the electrical contractor earlier. I need to get some more information for him. But it's a great opportunity. One of those generators is quite expensive. And historically, all fire departments will have an emergency generator to run them in cases of emergencies. And there's just not one there. So it's a good opportunity for us. It'll run about 3/4 of the station, which is everything that we will need going further. So anyway.
Thank you.
I'd like to make a motion to approve or deny additional funding of up to $150,000 to complete the needed renovations at Briar Fire Station 370, and authorize the executive director and staff to move forward with coordinating completion of the work as presented.
I will second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that's approved. Briefing items.
This will be Alicia. These next 3 or 4 items will be Ms. Johnson will be presenting that.
Okay.
As I stated in my briefing, as we work through building our policies, the ones that relate to the board will bring to you. This is just a reminder that anything pertaining to the district, text messages, sending photos.
Excuse me, Alicia, could you come up front, please? Thank you, so we can.
Okay, sorry. Anything district related, sending text messages, sharing photos, emails, it's all record. Got to keep it. To make it simple, try to keep everything electronic, and then you don't have to worry about whether I keep this, whether Alicia needs to keep it. It's all pretty black and white. Did you guys read through the policy? Okay, everything looks good to you? Okay. That's it.
Item B is purchasing P card policy as it relates to board members and personnel.
So not everybody has a P card. I guess we need to speak with Commissioner Jones about whether he wants a P card. Do you want a purchasing card? No. Okay. Commissioner Casares doesn't want one either. That was very definitive. Yeah. just make sure we're keeping receipts. Those can be sent electronically to Jennifer or myself. You don't have to wait till the meeting to bring it in. You can take a picture of it, send it in text message even. We just need to make sure that we're turning those in. Did you sign your form? Okay, 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 that's fine. We just need to make sure we get that before the end of the night. Again, this is just part of building our policies and putting in processes in place.
Is there anything we need to do specific with that? Because the card I have is still in the envelope. Hadn't even been
So
opened.
You are nervous to use it. It's activated. Also a reminder, we are tax exempt.
Okay.
If you do not have a tax exemption form, I keep one in my console in the car. Just in case I need to make a purchase, I have one. But we need to make sure that we're trying to make sure tax is not included in our purchases. Yep. I will email all board members, whether you have a card or not, our tax exempt form.
You ready for item C?
Russell turned it off. Yeah, I fell asleep.
Okay, item C is travel reimbursement policy as it relates to board members and personnel.
You all pretty much know the process. If we are, well, we learned with safety, I would prefer to pay for rooms with P cards instead of personal cards. So we don't have to worry about reimbursements. And we're just reimbursing mileage. And then we would like to do per diem prior to travel. Yeah, I mean, so you have it. But other than that, you know, you're keeping your receipts and you're turning those in for the appropriate reimbursements like parking and toll tags or toll fees. But again, just gentle reminder.
Item D, website update.
Website's done. Well, from my standpoint, it is done. Clicktunity is doing some stuff on the back end. So when I went in and created all the different areas, I did not create it for tablet view or cell phone view. So they're doing that on the back end. That's in there. I don't know how long that's going to take them because it's pretty large. It's got capabilities for vendors to sign up electronically, go straight to Jen. Record requests are electronically being sent in and automatically uploading to a Google Doc. There's an area for personnel only where all forms, policies, all the things that matter to them are there. Station pages, commissioner pages, it's completely different. I wish I could pull it up and show you.
So it's active?
It is not active.
Okay.
Because they're still working on the back end. So
And then
if you were to go to the website now, it would just be the same old website.
The same old. And then who is responsible for the care of that website?
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's probably me.
Indeed.
Yep, okay.
Okay, thank you.
Seen a few of the pages that she worked on. It is substantially different and I believe very professional. It's providing a lot more information about the district and its operations. The admin staff are on there with bios, the board and commissioner, all of the commissioners and the president are on there. As she said, it's going to be good. Once they finish their part, we'll do a final review, final check for any kind of errors or additional information we want to add. And then our goal is just to continue to maintain that and do upgrades and additions to it on a regular basis. The QR codes on our future home of signs will tie back to the website and to station pages with information about the construction. We're going to do our very best to try to provide updated pictures periodically on how that progress is going. This has been a giant undertaking for Alicia. I want to say thank you publicly to her for doing that. Just a ton of staff time to get us to where we are on that, and hopefully Click Unity won't take too long to get the back end work done and get it where we can do the final review.
Thank you.
One more thing, be watching your emails. I'm gonna send out a questionnaire of sorts for each of you to fill out, so I can write bios for each of you based off of that.
Okay.
I'll get that out probably next week.
All of the history that's on the current website will be carried on to the new website, like the Fitch study and things like that. Okay, good.
It's already there, all the archived stuff, it's there.
Better pictures than what we've got on our website now, please. Good. Okay.
Thank you, Alicia.
Yes, thank you very much for that. Item E, fire operations update.
Thank you. We met last week with all of the service provider fire chiefs. We try to do that quarterly. Had a good meeting, some good discussion. Chief Brown and Chief Mays provided updates on fire and EMS operations to them. Some additional information on things like service areas and brief discussion about contracts that you approved tonight. So a lot of good conversation there. Our logistics staff are continuing with ordering all the equipment and supplies necessary to get these two stations operational out of the funding that was approved at last month's board meeting. They're working on all of that. Same with making sure the vehicles are ready to go. The mapping and records management work that Chief Ballou is doing, that is total behind the scenes work that absolutely is essential to our operations. The record management software is what we do all our incident reporting in and get our data for providing to the board to substantiate why we're here. And without Jeff, we would be so far behind on all of that. So I want to acknowledge him publicly tonight as well on all that work. I spoke a little bit about vehicle repairs in Rendon. We've done some regularly scheduled PMs on some of our vehicles, oil changes and so forth, to keep all of that where it should be. And our vehicle maintenance on our fleet will be very closely monitored and maintained in a proper timing and mileage and all of those things to make sure we keep our equipment in top shape. Whiskey Flats crews have been doing a fair amount of training on their new engine. Staff's continuing to finalize plans for onboarding of our new employees. We have 4 training days between the 30th of March and the 2nd of April, where all of our new staff members will be going through their emergency medical credentialing with our medical director, some protocol training. There also is a session with all of our personnel to talk about onboarding as new employees, and for the 2 assistant chiefs and I to have a conversation with them about our culture and our expectations and where we're headed as an organization, and just to be very honestly clear and frank with them up front on what is expected from an employee of Tarrant County ESD 1. So we're excited to get that going and get all of these folks in here and get started. I would show you the closet in the back where all the uniforms went the other day when all 60 boxes of them showed up for these new employees. But some things got moved today, and I'm worried if we open the door, it may all come out. So we're going to skip that. Chief Mays finalized our radio template, which is what has to be programmed into all the radios for the different channels with the different departments that we'll be working with. And the programming on those will be starting soon. And kudos again to Jennifer and Alicia on getting our preliminary budget document put together for FY27. Our staff members are currently inputting items into the line item budget for us to start review of, and we start that on Thursday afternoon this week. So before we have our first budget workshop with you guys, we will have a framework and a basic rough idea operating budget put together for discussion and debate.
Okay. Item F. Item F, EMS operations update.
So staff have been very busy. Chief Florence and Chief Brown have been super busy getting ready for our state inspection, which happened on our ambulance at 9 o'clock this morning. And Chief Brown, did you have some news you wanted to share with the board?
Good. Inspection passed, flying colors. We're good to go, just waiting on that number so we can go forward. We've got a lot of work to do between now and April 1st, getting stuff stood up. And it all hinges off our provider's number, so I hope to have it by the end of the week. I think you probably lied to me today, it'll be next week, but I'm optimistic about Friday.
They have been working on this
Friday the 13th?
They have been working diligently on this since the fall, and I'm so grateful to them. This is done. We're very close. Getting this provider license finished is a really big deal. Again, that submittal packet with protocols and everything was 900 pages we submitted to the state. So it was a big effort.
Thank you, guys.
Want to commend the leadership in Rendon and Eagle Mountain. They've been extremely helpful of late in getting our ambulances shuffled around to get them to the decal shops to begin branding. As I've said before, we've got one in each shop right now getting worked on, and we'll work with them to rotate those around as we get closer to transition day. Supply ordering is ongoing. Some days it feels like an Amazon fulfillment center around here based on the number of boxes and shipments that are coming in. Again, the EMS training and credentialing, Chief Florence has the majority of that ready to go, and they'll be conducting that training in this room. EMS training with our on-duty crews is ongoing. The medical directors are doing a great job for us, and the instructors they have in place. We have some AV equipment in place where they can go to one station and teach the class, and it's broadcast to the other station, and we'll be able to do that to additional stations as well. And they will move the live location of the training from station to station periodically so that they all get some FaceTime with the medical director and the training staff. But I'm grateful to my staff for utilizing technology that frankly is saving us a ton of money on in-person training. Our training contract with Best EMS is about $13,000 a year, and we would pay that per station if we wanted in-person live training every month with our staff. And by doing it the way we're doing, we're saving tens of thousands of dollars, and that's helping us out a ton. Cool. Lastly, the chiefs have been working with the station captains, identifying candidates among our new employees with their tenure and their history and some past experience with doing field training to identify who our FTOs are going to be on the ambulance. And it'll be their job to mentor and train new employees and new paramedics who just get their certification to get them ready to operate in our system. We've done executive. Unless there's any other questions.
Okay. Okay.
Do we have any more scheduled meetings this month, or are we good?
Our strategic planning and financial forecasting meeting is scheduled for the 31st at 6 p.m. 3 weeks from tonight.
And we will provide dinner. It's gonna be.
And Alicia is insisting on feeding you guys that night for asking you to come back out for a second meeting. Yes, ma'am.
Anything else? Okay, I'm gonna call this meeting of the Tarrant County Emergency Services District Number 1 adjourned at 7:02 PM. Thank you all for coming.